N2 represents 20 or not. Okay, it is not kind of 10 colon 10. N1 is a static key. It's a text. That's it. It's a text. N1, okay, in my object, always keys are like static. It is not represents or it is not pointing to any value. Keys are like static. Okay, the values are like what? Okay, if it is not enclosed with the double code or single code, it is like a variable to hold some data. Now, it is like what? N1 holds 10. So, N1 value 10, N2 value 20 or not, the output. Yes or no? Come on. If you observe here, syntactical it's valid or not. Syntactical it's valid or not. See, my object which contains key value pairs. Okay, my key is this one and my value is this one. Key to value differentiate what? Differentiate with colon. Okay, one key value to another key value differentiate with comma. Okay, syntactical 100% valid or not. I'm getting like what? Okay, expected output only. But if you observe here, what is the key? What is the key? Key is what? N1. What is the value reference? What is the value reference name? N1 only. Okay. What is the key? N2. Value reference is there. Okay. N2. Value reference also. So in my object, if my key and value reference both are like same, the shorthand syntax you can write like this: N1 comma N2. Now tell me, is it like a valid syntax? First tell me, is it like a valid syntax?
Yes.
Is it like valid in the 100%? It's valid. Say this. Okay. It means if you write, if you see somewhere like this, don't think like it is invalid. Okay. Don't think like that. Okay. Always, it's not a kind of key value pairs. If you see sometimes like this, what it means, my key is like N1. The value reference also what? N1 only. My key is like N2. My value reference also what? N2 only. This code snippet, okay, is equivalent to this one or not. Got my point? Is a kind of shorthand syntax.
Hello,
It's a
sir.
shorthand syntax.
Sir, wo1, what is the meaning of wo1?
This is the variable object one, no, or like that. What is the meaning? It's a
But you used wo only. But
no, this is the O1 variable. Okay, one more variable I created like O1 assigned with this data.
okay, sir.
Okay.
Yes, I understand. Yes.
Got my point? This is called as what? Shorthand syntax. Now onwards, if you see something like this, okay, don't think like it's like invalid syntax. Don't think like it's like an invalid syntax. If you see something like this, you should have to understand like what? You should have to understand like what? This is equal. This is equal to what? This is equals to, okay, my key is like N1, my value reference also N1, my key is like N2, my value reference also N2. Like this, you can understand. You got my point? It's a kind of shorthand syntax. Okay. Up to here, we discussed in yesterday's class, right? Okay, let's continue remaining things now.
हेलो
Yeah.
सर, जो एरे हम यूज करते हैं, दो ठो एरे, उसे जब जॉइंट करते हैं उसमें डुप्लीकेट आ जा रहा है, उसको कैसे हटा सकते हैं?
No. In the array, duplicate values allowed in the array. Okay, it is not a kind of object keys, not it should not duplicate, not like that. In the array, you can write like a duplicate keys. Yes, it allows. It is valid.
Yes,
Got
sir.
the point?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's the reason. Okay, if you have like first array contains 3, second array also contains 3 means, yes, it is like a kind of merging. Okay, both will come into our array, output array.
Yes, sir. इसको चाहे तो मतलब हटा सकते हैं क्या?
Okay, if you want to remove that one, then the time you have to write some extra code, okay, to remove the duplicate elements, or to remove the duplicate elements like that.
Okay, sir.
Okay, you have to write some extra code at the time of arrays discussion. We'll discuss that.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, okay then. Now I have one small requirement is there. I have one function f1. I have one function. Okay, add of two numbers. Okay, so that n1 and n2. Okay, console dot log of n1 plus n2. Now tell me, this particular function used for what? To find the sum of exactly two numbers or not? Always. Yes or no? If I put like add two of 10 comma, okay, add two of 10 comma 20, add two of 10 comma 20 comma 30. Okay, which call get the expected output?
I
Which call
will
get the expected output?
Eighth line.
Okay, eighth line.
do.
Okay, in my first line, what is my answer? Anyone? In my first
Yeah,
Yeah,
line.
it
First
is
line.
undefined.
Not
undefined.
accepting two argument, but
Not
you are
not a
passing
number.
once.
Not a number.
Not a number or not. Use your chat window. Not a number or not. Why? You pass like one argument. So that argument assigned to n1. So n1 value is like a 10. Na? Okay, did you pass any data to my n2? No. What is my default value for the variable in JavaScript? Undefined. Okay, 10 plus undefined is what? Not a number. Not a number is the answer. So it is not my expect output, right? If it is like a 10, no, I required like I'm expecting like 10 only. 10 only. It's not an expected output. Okay. The next one is like a 10, 20. 10, 20. What's my answer? N1, N2. Exact values are there. Output is like a 30. Okay. The next one is 10, 20, 30. N1 value 10, N2 value 20. I pass like a 30 also, but you are not holding. So N1 and N2 values only used in my function body. Yes or no? So my output here also 30, but expect output is what? 60. Yes or no? Okay, this is not my expected output. This is also okay, not my expected output. This one works with only exactly two numbers to find the sum or not. Okay, if you want to find the sum of three numbers, then if you want to find the sum of three numbers, then if you want to find the sum of three numbers, then you need to write one more function or not. Yes or no? One more function or not, like this. You need to write like one more function or not. There is no other option. If you want to find the sum of four numbers, one more function. Like that, I want to find the sum of sometimes two numbers, sometimes three, sometimes four, like that. Okay, 99. Okay, possibility is like 99 values I may get it. Then the time how many functions are required? 99 functions or 98 functions are required or not? Is it the recommended way? Is it the recommended way of writing like 99 functions? One is for adding the two numbers sum. Find the sum of two numbers. Okay. Find the sum of three numbers. Find the sum of four numbers, like this. Is it recommended one or not recommended one? Obviously, right? It is not a recommended one. 99 functions you want me to write to find the sum of. Okay. It is not right. Okay, then how we can? Very simple. Can we write only one function? Okay, the problem is what here? The problem is this function exactly handled two arguments only. Exactly handle two arguments only. If you put like n3, if I put like n4, n5, like this n99, if I write, then what happened? If I write like add 10 comma 20, okay, then what happened? N1 plus n2 plus n3, okay, plus n99. If I write like this, what's my answer now? If I write like this, what is my answer now? N1 value 10, n2 value 20. Remaining all values are what? Remaining all values are like undefined. 10 plus 20, 30. 30 plus undefined is what? Not a number, right? Okay, not a number, right? This will work only for only for 90 numbers. If you pass that, that one only gives the expected output or not. If any variable missed, then the time you can get like what? Not a number answer or not. Yes or no? Agreed with me? Agreed with me? Okay, it is not a recommended one, right? It is not a recommended one. One thing we can do. One thing you can do it. What is that? You know, I have a function. I have a function sum. Okay, n1 equals to 0, comma, n2 equals to 0, comma, n3 equals to 0. Okay, now I want to find the sum. Console dot log of n1 plus n2 plus n3. Now my sum, if you not pass anything, then that time see my n1 assigned with 0, right? If you not pass anything, then that time my default value is what now? If you not assign, the value is like undefined. Now what is my default value? Now what is my default value? Now what is my default value? Undefined or 0 now? Undefined or 0? 0. Now you set the default value for the variable, okay, default value for the argument or not. It's a kind of default argument syntax. Okay, now if I pass like sum, of 10, expect output is what? 10. Yes, I'm getting. Okay, sum of 10 comma 20, expect output is what? 30. I'm getting. Sum of 2 comma 3, okay, 30 comma 3, okay, like this. I'm getting like expect output or not. Working as expected or not. Working as expected or not. But the problem here is, for example, 99 arguments, okay, 99 values, I may get it as per my requirement. Then the time you want me to create like 99 arguments like this, n1 equals to 0, n2 equals to 0, n3 equals to 0, n4, n5, 99 arguments you want me to write? Is it the recommended way? Is it the recommended way? Okay, maximum 2 or 3 I can manage, but 99 how I can manage? It is not a recommended way or not. So can you do one thing? Can you write a function? Can you write one function which can hold any number of arguments with a single variable? Can you write a function which can hold any number of values with a single variable, with a single argument? Like that, can you write a function? Now, if you observe my function, okay, fn, can I write one function? Can I write one function? This is my function. It can hold any number of arguments with a single variable. Can I write like this? Okay, numbers. Can I write like this? Numbers. Now see, my fn can hold 10. Yes, my fn can hold 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma this. Okay, see, it's able to hold it or not. With a single variable, I can represent all my arguments what I pass at the time of calling or not. Yes or no? Come on. Okay, all values I'm getting or not in the array format, some other format, secondary. But whatever the values I am passing, I am able to represent, I am able to hold all these values with a single variable or not, numbers. Yes or no? Okay, if you see the syntax, it is what? Dot to dot to dot to numbers. Now tell me this dot to dot to dot with one variable, if you keep inside a function argument, now that particular value, we can say like a rest parameter, rest operator. Okay, if you see anywhere dot to dot to dot in your function argument, that one we can call like what? Rest parameter. Got my point? Yes or no? Okay, now once you have the array, you can find the sum. You can find the sum. Okay, how we can find the sum? How we can find the sum? Okay, can anyone know the logic? I have array of elements, numbers. Numbers is like an array of elements. So first time I want to get the first First sum. Okay, first value. Sum is like 0. Can I write like for loop? Okay, let I equals to 0, I less than or equals to numbers plus length. Okay, for now I am using this for loop. Okay, but in future I want to use like array methods. Okay, now you can see sum equals to the previous sum. Okay, previous sum. Okay, plus okay, current value, numbers of I. Numbers of I. Now, can I write like console.log of my sum? Console.log of my sum. That's it. Now see my fn. Okay. Okay, it gives me what? Fn of 1, 1, 1. Okay. Numbers of I. Console.log of this. Okay, why it's like this? Okay, somewhere something is missing. Okay, no problem at all. Just debug it. Just debug it. Just debug it. Okay, how we can debug? Put like debugger. Okay, now you can use debugging. You can use debugging concept now. Okay, just put like one keyword called as a debugger. Okay, now can I call my fn? Can I call my fn? Can I call my fn? Okay, 1, 2. 1, 2. Okay, now see, from my console it moved to where? From my console it moved to where? Come on. From my console it moved to source or not? So my numbers, how many values you passed? 2 values. First value is like, okay, 0th index 1. My first index is like 2. Now come down, see, one by one. Line by line execution is this one. See this. Line by line execution is this one. There are 2 buttons are there. This is one button. This is one button. My first question is, how you can come to know you are in the debugging mode or not? How you can come to know you are in the debugging mode or not? Okay, very simple thing. Whenever in your browser, if you see these 2 buttons with some mask, see this, there has a, okay, mask, there has a light white color, see this, okay, with these 2 buttons or not? Okay, whenever you see these 2 buttons in your browser with some mask, then you can understand like you are in the debugging mode. You are in the debugging mode. Your execution somewhere stopped. So here my execution line number 3, my execution stopped. So I want to move, okay, one line to another line by line execution I want to. Okay, can you read the tooltips here? First one, resume script execution. The next one is what? Step over next function call. Got my point? Okay, in our words, simply, okay, one debugger to another debugger jumping if you want, then the time you can click on this one. Okay, line by line execution. Okay, I want to go inside another function like that, then the time you can go with this particular button, second button. Okay, first let's go with second button. I want line by line execution. I want line by line execution. Okay, now come here. Come here. Now say this. Let I equals to 0. I initialized with 0. Okay, the next one is like I less than or equals to length. Okay, so 0. Okay, 0 less than or equals to 2. Okay, condition satisfied. So my execution comes to line number 5. Line number 5. Yes. Now this is my sum 0. See this, sum 0. Numbers. Okay, how many? 2 are there. Numbers of 0 is nothing but what? Numbers of 0. Okay, is nothing but 1. Numbers of 0. Okay, see, select it, put the cursor. Select one variable and put the cursor. Numbers of 0 is like 1 or not? See this. Okay, so sum is like 0. 0 plus, okay, numbers of 0. Numbers of 0 is like 1. 0 plus 1, 1. So my sum is like 1. Okay, once it is done, it go to where? It go to your increment operator. I plus plus, yes. If my condition, again, I plus plus is nothing but, it's like 1. 1 less than or equals to 2. Yes, condition satisfied. So come down. Okay, come down. Now my sum is like what? Sum, existing sum is like 1. My numbers of 1 is nothing but 2. Okay, so perfect. Now I plus plus. Now what? Okay, I plus plus is nothing but 2 now. Okay, I value is like 2. 2 less than or equals to 2. Yes. Okay, now if you come down, my sum is this one. My numbers of, okay, 2. Tell me, numbers of 2, there or not there? Second index there or not there? Second index there or not there? In my numbers of 2, not there. Okay, so the value is like what? Undefined. So 2 plus undefined. Okay, that means, okay, this is the sum, right? Okay, 1 plus 2, 3. 3 plus undefined is what? The total whole thing, if you observe, the whole, okay, value, if you observe, the value is like what? Not a number or not. Okay, finally, my I plus plus is nothing but 4. Okay, 4 or 3, 3 less than or equals to 2. Okay, it is like, okay, I value is like 3. Okay, length is like 2. 3 less than or equals to 2. Okay, it's like condition failed. So it comes to line number 7. Okay, my sum is like a nan, not a number. It's printed or not. Got my point? Yes or no? Okay, what is the fix for this? Okay, now see. Now, if I click on this one, it comes to 8th line. Okay, next it come to some other place. See this here. Okay, go to some other place. Okay, see this Babel compiled. Okay, these all things. It is like step into in another function or not. Now, do you want all these things? My code debugged. Okay, already debugging completed. Do you want me to step into some other functions also? What internally executed? Do you want me to step into? Not required, right? Then if you want to come out from the debugging mode, see this is the resume script execution. One button is there, right? First button, click on that one. See this came out, and you can see the output or not. Yes, sir. So what change you want me to do? What change you want me to do? Okay, I less than is enough or not? Okay, and one more thing. Say this. Listen. Fn 1 comma 100 comma 200. 200. Okay, see the debugging. Now, if I click on the button, now my control go to source tab, right? Okay, activate debugging mode. See, my debugging mode. You are in the debugging mode or not? You are in the debugging mode or not? How you can come to know? If you see the mask in your window with these two buttons, then you can come to know like what? You are in the debugging mode. Okay, what is my numbers? Okay, what is my NOS variable value? What is the NOS variable value? Okay, it is a rest operator. My F1 contains how many variables you are passing, how many values you are passing. Those values hold with this variable or not. Okay, now if you put the cursor, you are in the source tab now. If you put the cursor, are you able to see the values? Yes or no? Are you able to see the values or not? This is one way of tracking your values. This is one way of tracking your values. Yes or no? Okay. Now in the right side, if you observe the scope and block, okay, block level scope, the local scope, like this, multiple variable scopes are there. Block level scope, local scope, and global scope. Okay, here, okay, let, okay, numbers. Okay, it's like what? It's a kind of local variable for this particular function or not. All arguments are like local variables or not. Yes or no? My sum, it's a kind of block level scope variable or not? Why? Because it's a let. It's let. Okay. Now, if you go to your console, if I write like numbers, what's my answer? See this? 120 to 100 and 200 numbers printed or not printed. Okay, that means if you are in the debugging mode, okay, whatever the variables are there, those variables directly you can access in your console. Why? Because in the debugging mode, okay, if you are in the debugging mode, you are in which function? the same function, okay, scope is pointed to my console. Okay, my console also pointing to that particular scope, particular function scope only. That the reason, if you observe within the function fn, I can access numbers or not. Yes or no? Within this particular fn, I can access numbers or not. Why? Because numbers is a local variable to my fn. So my console also pointing to this particular fn function scope only. Inside the fn numbers I can access. My console also pointing to my debugging function only. That the reason here also I can access the numbers. Yes or no? Inside the function, what I can access, all I can access. Now can you come here? Sum. Can I go to my console? I can call my sum or not. Yes or no? Okay. Now if you come here, okay, what is my I value? What is my I value? 0. Can you come here? Okay, I value. I value. Yes or no? Okay, what is my sum now? Can you go to my sum? What is my sum now? Now my sum is like 100. Okay, now come down. Okay, what is my I value? Can you check? What is my I value? I value is like 1. Okay, once it is done, what is my sum value? Sum value is what? My sum value is what? My sum is like this 300. Okay, once it is done, everything is okay. All the statements got executed. I don't want to go to in another function. Okay, just come out from the debugging mode. Yes, you are in the debugging mode or not now? Are you in the debugging mode or not? Are you in the debugging mode or not? No, you are not in the debugging mode. If you are not in the debugging mode, can you try to access my sum now? Can you try to access my sum? Are you able to access? Are you able to access or not access? I'm not able to access or not. Why? Means in the debugging mode, okay, my console is pointing to my function scope. Whatever I can access inside the function, the same thing I can access in the console or not. But I am not in the debugging mode now. So that my console is like something different scope it is maintaining or not. In that scope, sum is there or not there? Sum is not there. That the reason gives me error like what? Sum is not defined or not. Got my point? Yes or no? Okay, numbers. This is all we are not able to access now. Okay, we are not able to access. Why? Means you are not in the debugging mode. Now my console has their own scope. It is not pointing to my FN scope. Okay, in my console scope, there is no NYS variable, there is no I variable, there is no sum variable. That's the reason you got like same errors or not. Sum is not defined, numbers is not defined, I is not defined like that. Yes or no? Come on. Okay. Okay, then. Let me call again. Let me call again. Now, this is my, okay, second line. If you observe, here is my execution stopped. My execution stopped here. Now, I don't want to iterate this particular for loop. Okay, for loop is working as expected. That's the reason I don't want to iterate. I don't want to waste my time. It is like 100 iterations are there, 100 times. I'm not able to click on this particular button. I want to jump from line number 2 to line number 7. Okay, then the time this particular button always take line by line execution, line by line execution. Then okay, it works. It is not works for my requirement. My requirement is I want to jump. Okay, then that time simply you can use this particular, okay, this particular button. Now I am in the line number 2 now. Okay, my execution stopped at line number 2. I want to jump line number 7. I want to put the debugger here. You want to put the debugger. Okay, you can use the debugger keyword. That is one thing. The next one is like line numbers are there right here in your source tab, line numbers. Okay, you can click on the line number so that it is called as a breakpoint. It is called as a breakpoint. It is equals to debugging only. It is equals to debugger keyword only. So now my line number 2 having one debugger point, line number 7 having one debugger point. So I want to jump from line number 2 to line number 7. But if you click on the second button, okay, it is like line by line execution. But I want to jump from line number 3 to 7 now. Then click on this. Now see, directly it is jumped from here to here or not. Got my point? One debugging point to another debugging point. If you want to jump, then you can go with this particular button. Okay, now from line number 7 to another debugging point, anything is there? No, then the time it is directly come out. All are okay? Yes or no? Come on. Now in the console, can I access numbers now? Can I access numbers now? In the console, can I access the numbers now? In the console, can I access the numbers? Yes, I can access. Why? Why means very simple. You are in the debugging mode. Okay, where my execution stopped? Line number 2. Okay, line number 2 is inside the FN. So my FN scope, the same FN scope pointing by my console also or not. So in my FN, whatever the variables, whatever the functions I can access, the same variables, same functions and everything, okay, I can access from my console also or not. Why? Because my console pointing to my FN scope. Okay, why? Because my debugger, that means my execution stopped in my FN function. My console is pointing to my FN function scope now. That's the reason I can access any variable inside my FN, whatever the variable or whatever the function accessed by my FN, the same variable, same functions can access by my console also, inside my console also. Got my point? Yes or no? Come on. Okay, why sum is undefined? Why sum is undefined? At this moment, line number 3 not executed. It is not initialized with 0 or not. If you not initialized with 0, then what is the default value for my sum? It is like undefined. Undefined. It's a kind of hosting, I will tell. All are okay? Agreed with me? Agreed with me? Agreed with me? Okay? Okay, then. This is the way you can debug your programs. You can debug your programs. We'll see in future, but like this. Okay, this source, okay, okay, don't think more about this one. Okay, they created like copy of your source code. That's it. If I run this one, okay, it creates like a copy of your source code with one of the file name like this. Okay, VM1665. Okay, that is like a file name they made. Okay. Okay, then. Now I have a function f1. Okay, a comma b. Is it valid or invalid? I have a function f1 a comma b. It's valid or invalid? It's valid or invalid? Okay, 100% invalid. Why you know? Okay, rest parameter syntactically it should be as a lost argument. Why? Because okay, b, is there anything is there to hold it? Come on, b, is there any chance to hold some value? Is there any chance to hold some value? No, right? Why? Because all the values hold by a only. There is nothing is there to hold the b or not. After that, after the rest operator, if you write some variable, there is no use, right? There is no, okay, if you write some argument, there is no use or not. It is in their life, it is not accessed with some value or not, assigned with some value or not to access. Yes or no? So, okay, first rest parameter, next normal variable, it is always invalid. It is always invalid. If you want to put something like this, yes, you can put it. Okay, first B and then A. Okay, now if you observe here, console.log of B, okay, console.log of A. Now see, F1 of 1, what is the value? What is the output? Can anyone? F1 of 1, what is the output? First value hold with B. Okay, so my B value is like what? B value is like what? 1. No? What is my A value? What is my A value? What is my A value? Is there any value is there for my A? not there. If it is not there, don't say like undefined. Okay, it's a rest parameter. My default value for the rest parameter is like a empty array. Empty array. You got my point? Okay, now you got some idea, right? What is spread operator? What is rest operator? Okay, now yesterday's requirement, you can see if you observe here, F1, okay, N1 comma N2, N1 comma N2. Okay, here console.log of this dot x plus N1 plus N2. Done. Okay, now F1 dot call of, okay, it's take how many arguments? See that? It's take how many arguments? It's take like how many arguments? It's take like how many arguments? My call method take how many arguments? One, okay, one argument like this arg, first argument. The second argument is like a rest parameter or not. Okay, means my first one, whatever the argument you pass, that is available like a current object. This, so x10, if you pass, this is available to my F1 as a current object. This, after that, how many values you can pass here? How many values you can pass here? I'm not sure. Sometimes 2, okay, sometimes 1, sometimes 20. My F1 take how many arguments? I don't know exactly. Got my point? Sometimes my F1 may be 1 argument, sometimes my F1 may be 10 arguments, sometimes my F1 may be, okay, 0 arguments. Then that time, I'm not sure about my F1 arguments or not. F1 is your method. Okay, if you write something like 2, 3, or 10, whatever it is, my call method don't know about your function or arguments or not. Yes or no? It can be 0 to any number. That's the reason, okay, I can hold 0, I can hold any number of arguments or not. For that, they use it like what? This rest parameter. Got my point? Okay, at this moment, I can pass like 2 values, 10 comma 20, 10 comma 20. Now see, my answer is like what? 40. All okay? Okay. Okay, then. Now there has one more method also there. Apply. Apply. Can you see that? What is that? First argument is like common, right? The first argument is like common or not? First argument is like common or not? For my call and apply, first argument is like a common or not? First argument is like common. Which argument that is? Okay, whatever you pass, that particular argument acting like a current object, this or not. Okay, so this is my first argument. My second argument, if you observe in the apply, my second argument is an array. Argument array. Okay, now this array contains how many elements? You decide. Array contains 0 to any number. Okay, that is depending upon what? That is depending upon what? My F1 take how many values? 2. So you can pass 2 elements in the array. That's it. You can get the output or not. That is only the difference between call and apply syntactically. That's it. Got my point? Call and apply methods are used for what? To call a function. While calling a function, you can make your own object is available like a current object. My call function second argument is like a rest parameter. It can hold any number of values and pass to my F1. Okay, my apply, it's take like a array as a second argument. You can pass any number of elements in the array to my, okay, function F1 or not. Syntactically, okay, slight difference, that's it. Functionality wise, both are like same. All are okay? Yes or no? Okay, okay then. Let me do one thing. Say, if I execute this statement, directly which method called? Directly which method is called? Okay, directly one method called, right? Which method? My F1 method directly called or not? Yes or no? My call method directly call my F1 by making this object is available like a current object by passing these two values as an arguments to my F1 or not. Yes or no? Directly call and directly execute this particular statement and get the output or not. Yes or no? My apply also, if you observe, my apply also directly call the method and get the output or not. Can I go with the bind now? F1 dot bind. Okay, read it. Read it. F1 dot bind. Come on, it is similar to what? It is similar to what? Your call syntax only. Okay, first, which argument you want me to pass like a you want me to pass like a current object? Which value? Which object you want me to make it like a current object? This that object you can pass it. The next one is like 10 comma 20. If you click on enter, now see this. If I click on enter to my call, directly I executed. Okay, directly execute this particular statement, get the output. Apply also directly execute that F1 and get the output. But my bind method, is it directly execute my F1? Is it directly executed my F1? No, right? No, right? If it is directly execute, then that time my console message should be printed, right? But it is not printed. So tell me, my bind method returns me what? See, my bind method returns me what? My bind method returns me what? My bind method returns me what? Yes, function or not. Okay, so far you asked one question, undefined, undefined. Why this undefined? That time I told like it's a like a confirmation message. Okay, it is like a confirmation message. It's like no errors, nothing. Then the time it's like okay, gives me like confirmation like that. Now slide change I want to do. At that moment you don't know about the return, so that I told like that. But now if you observe, see bind method. Okay, no undefined nothing. Okay, what it shows? There is no undefined nothing. What it shows? Come on, what it shows? The return value or not. Return value or not. But apply method, see this undefined it shows. What it means? What it means? If the function not return anything, while executing the statement, if it is not return anything, what is my default value? What is my default value? Come on. While executing a function, if it is not written anything, while executing a statement, it is not giving me back anything, then that time what is the default value? Undefined or not? That the reason this undefined is printed. Now you got some idea why undefined is printed? Yes or no? My bind method, while executing this statement, it returns me something, so that return value printed here. While executing this statement, it is not written anything. My apply method not written anything. Okay, so that what is my default return value? Undefined. Here, what is my default return value? Undefined or not? Yes or no? Agreed with me? Agreed with me? Come on, agreed with me or not? Okay, then. If my bind method returns one more function, what is that function? Which function it returns? Come on, see that and tell me. Which function it returns? Which function it returns? Yes, the same function it returns or not? The same function it returns or not? So, the same function is nothing but on which function you called bind method, the same function only it returns or not? Now you can ask a question. Hey, see, this is an important. This is my F1. Okay, listen. This is my F1. Let me write it here. This is my F1. If I execute my F1, this is my actual F1 value or not? Yes or no? This is my actual F1 value. My F1 value is this one. Yes, sir? If I execute the bind method, okay, if I execute the bind method, okay, this is my result or not? This is my result or not? Okay, if I execute the bind method, this is my result. See, before bind method, okay, my F is looks like this, After bind method, my f is looks like this. Did you find any difference? 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 No, right? If you not find any difference, then that time why I need this statement bind? Why I need this bind statement? Yes or no? Why I need that bind statement? Come on. See, this is my f1. Okay, the value is this one. The value is this one. Once I bind it, okay, it returns me the same f1. My question is, before bind, this is my f1 value. After bind, it is also returns me the same f1. What is the difference between this f1 and this f1? That is my question. Any answers? What is the difference? What is the difference? What is the difference between before bind my f1, after bind my f1? Before bind my f1, this is there, right? That is pointing to what? Come on, default my this is pointing to what? Default my this is pointing to what? Window or not? After bind my this is pointing to what? Your own object or not? More than that, there is no change. My bind method also returns me the same function again by making your object is available like a current object or not. Your own object is available like a current object or not. It returns me same function, but my this is pointing to my own object or not. That's it. Got my point? Yes or no? Listen carefully. Okay. Now my bind method returns me some value, right? Okay, this is my A. This is my A. See, this is my A. Okay, this is my actual F1. If I call my actual F1, my this is pointing to what? If I call my actual F1, my this is pointing to what? Come on, window. So if I call it, okay, 10, 20, 30, whatever you read, then that time it gives me like output is like not a number only. But if I call my A with something like x 10, 20, okay, 10, 20, then the time I'm getting like expected output or not. Got my point? Come on. Are you able to understand the difference between call, apply, bind? These three works for the same cause. Make your own object is available like a current object, but the syntax is like different based on your requirement. Which syntax is required? Okay, that syntax you can use it. In future, I will tell. Okay. Okay, if it is like a React, most of the times, if it is like a class components, we are going to use like a bind method. Most of the times we use bind method. Okay, well, because that is required. Okay, based on our requirement function. Okay, I don't want to call directly. I need a function with my own object. I want to do something with the function. Then you can go with what? Bind only, right? Call and apply, directly call it, but I don't want to call directly. I am the person want to call manually, but still I needed a function with my own object. Then the time you can go with what? Then the time you can go with what? Bind method or not? Okay. Okay, then let's go with the assignment. Okay, HTML side. Can you write something about the SVG? Can you write something about SVG tag? SVG tag, scalar vector graphics. Okay, SVG. Okay, you can easily understand, it's not a big deal. Just go through that. Okay, the next one. Can you write something about the fixed position? The CSS fixed position. Okay. Can you write the notes? Okay, something about ES6 concepts, what we discussed. ES6 concepts, what we discussed. Arrow functions. Arrow functions. Okay, the next one is like spread operator. Okay, rest operator. Okay, the next one is like object destructuring. Okay, the next one is like, okay, shorthand syntax. Shorthand syntax. Okay, spread operator, rest operator is done, right? Spread operator for objects. Okay, as well as arrays. Okay, these concepts you can write it. The next one is like, no, this is a box, right? Okay, this one is like a box, right? Okay, here only two components used. Okay, inside this app component, so far you used like only one component. Listen carefully. In my root component, so far you used like one component. Maximum you written like two components only in your application, in your example so far. Okay, my question is, think your own. I want three components. Okay, I want three components. Okay, in my example, just I require like three components. Think, okay, whatever you want, you can write the example, your wish. But I require like three components. That's it. Right? Okay, one program. Okay, included with three components. Got my point? Okay, think your own. Whatever the example you want, you can write, but it should contain three components. Got my point? Agreed? Okay, complete these things. Okay, tomorrow's our next level discussion is like OOPS concepts. OOPS. Okay, once the OOPS concepts completed, then we can start with class components. So far we work with what? Functional components, right? And then we can start with class components. And then we start with class components. Okay, class components, it's a maximum. Okay, 2 to 3 days we are going to discuss. After that, completely we move to functional components only. Okay, total end of our sessions is like next 1.5 month. Okay, just we are going to work with functional components only. Okay, OOPS concepts are very, very important. Okay, this is helpful to your TypeScript to learn. Okay, as well as any programming language. Okay, not only JavaScript, for okay, Java, .NET, PHP, whatever it is, the concepts are like same. What is class, what is object, what is inheritance, what is overloading, what is overriding, what is abstraction, what is encapsulation, all these things we cover as part of this concept. OOPS. Okay. Okay, then thank you guys. Thanks for joining. Just complete these assignments and send it to my email.